Hi there. Today we are going to do this card, and that was a bird just hitting our window. I'm so sorry, little bird. Anyway, this is Home to Roost. This is a celebration stamp set. You can only get these celebration stamp sets by spending money in the Stampin' Up! Store. Imagine that. So anyhow, if every $50 you order, you get to pick from free stamps. There's other things too, but this is one of the stamp sets that I think is really cute, and my chicken friends will like it. And then I also am going to run through really quick this Lasting Lily one again, because my last video got cut off. I was so disgusted when I got done with that. So anyhow, that one, the Lasting Lily one, is actually really cute. I do like it. It's a really nice sympathy card. It has a lot of sentiment, so I'll talk about that. But the main thing is that I want to get going on this rooster one. The Home to Roost there's just a lot of things you can do with this one, so I think you're going to really like it. Again, you've got $50 worth of sales. You get free stuff plus the other Stampin' Up! Rewards you would get. And this is the best time of the year to order from Stampin' Up! Between now and March 31 is the time where they have the most sales, the best deals. You will never find a better deal. So I'm going to swing down. I'm also going to try to find me on our computers to see if we can even see what's going on. And I've got all kinds of junk written all over my thing. Actually, I have some stuff there that I probably want to mention. But anyway, so while I'm looking at the computer, you can examine my scribbles. I've got when to register for classes, what classes are coming up. I've got one this weekend called Perfect Pets. That one's going to be really fun and cute. And then the weekend after that, we've got Meant to Be, and that is a Valentine's themed one. That's going to be really fun and cute too. So anyhow, I think I'm on so I can see if there are people with comments. I think I'll be able to see your comments. I try to, but we'll just see what we can do. So I'm going to set this card aside for now because that one's not the one I want to start with. So let me put that over there too. Lasting Lily has all of these sentiments. In my last video, I already went over what those sentiments were. There's this background stamp too, which I'm not going to use today, but that one is also really a nice background stamp. You know, you could use it. You don't want to though, okay? This stamp is I think this one's called a distinctive one. It should be. If it's not, it should be, because the distinctive stamps are unique in that they have more detail in, well, actually, not even, I won't even say detail. They do have more detail, but it's more than that. They have shading in it that most stamps don't. There are other brands that do it also. I don't know what they call theirs, but Stampin' Up! Calls theirs distinctive stamps. So I'm going to just start by cutting my 8.5 by 11 inch paper into a 4 1/4 strip, and then I'm going to do a little score line because Stampin' Up! Has this wonderful little score blade, so you can score your cards in half, and then it makes it much easier to fold. When you score, you know, you're going to want to always fold your paper away from where you scored it, because it just makes it easier to do that. It works better. So, yeah, good. That worked out perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to color or do this Lasting Lily, and this card is in Flirty Flamingo. I had a friend who mentioned in the last, before my video got cut off, she mentioned that Flirty Flamingo was a really good name, and it's a really nice pink color. I like it. It's pretty. And I actually went through and cleaned up my stamp blocks because they are getting a little bit gummy. The new rubber stamps are not the problem. It's the old rubber stamps I have to put repositional glue on, and so they get my things all gummy. Okay, so this is just a matter of however you want to do it, but I wanted to put 3 on here, and I'm going to stamp off for a couple of them. So when you stamp off, you're just going to stamp one place somewhere else off your card, and then stamp. And that didn't really quite go. Because these stamps are photopolymer and I can see through them, I actually can fix this. If I had done this with my Stamparatus, it would have been a little easier to fix, but that's still not going to work. So you know what? We are going to use the other side. I'm going to have to cut this off and abandon that one. I guess I could probably use this side of it. Let's do that. Then I actually have a scrap still. Okay, now we're going to, here's the reason it did that. Photopolymer stamps have no padding on them, like rubber stamps do. And as an example, let me get out my Rooster one. The Rooster one will show you how there is a, well, hey there, Heather. It's nice to see you. Thanks for commenting. I appreciate it, so I knew you were there. The rubber stamp has this foam on it, but photopolymer ones don't. So that's why it did what it did. So I'm going to get my little foam craft pad out here and try it again, this time with that. Okay, so I'm just stamping off, and this time I'm going to press just a little bit more. There we go. That's much, much better. And we'll do one more up here. Better. Okay, because I want this lighter coloring. This gives you your highlights without you having to even do it with your pen. It has this nice dark edge, again, without me having to do it with my pen. And before I do the bud I'm not going to stamp off. I'm going to do my stem first this time for my bud, because last time when I tried to do the little bud, it wasn't quite going where I wanted it to. Okay, so the bud and the stem are in mint macaroon, or macaron, probably would be a better way to pronounce it. And I need to clean my stamp off here really quick and put it away so I don't lose it. And then let's grab the larger of these stems. I'm going to just put it diagonal on this one so I can keep using it. And then the mint macaron is actually pretty light colored. I don't think I need to worry about stamping off on this one. Okay. Just can see right through there, so you can kind of see where you want to position your stems. They're going to go a little wonky on me. Let's look here. Oop, I just got a smudge of ink right there. I may never get to my Rooster one, because that actually is pretty high smudge. So we're going over here again and starting again. And this time I'm going to just use the back of this, because I am wanting to get done here. This is kind of ridiculous. It seems like when you do stamping, this sort of thing happens. It's not, you know, you can never know for sure how things are going to work out. So just kind of the way it goes. Perfect. Okay, so now let me clean that off again. Get rid of it so I don't lose it. Now we'll go with my stem again and try not to smudge up my paper. Actually, I want this to curve this way. So because this is a photopolymer stamp, I can actually make it do that. So let's curve that stem a bit. Now this would be like if in nature it decided to, you moved its little pot or another leaf got in the way in order to search for the sun, it would have done that possibly. But on this one, I want it straight, of course. So I'm gonna just lift it up and try not to get my inky fingers all over everything. The little grabbers for the flower need to be right up in there. That's good. I want to use the other stem for my bud because this one has a really big opening, indicating that the flower's opened up. So I want to use the smaller one, the smaller stem. That's gonna match my little flower bud better. So there's the little flower bud, but we're gonna go ahead and stamp that stem on. And this stem, again, I'm gonna want it to curve because I want my bud to be over here. So I actually want it to curve kind of like this. Not too much, just a little bit. So I'm just gonna curve it onto my, I don't want it to curve that much, just a bit. There we go. Get it on there. Because I don't want my leaf to be there. Okay. I think that's good. Perfect. Okay, now I'm sorry I'm coming to you at a different time. Again, like I said, Facebook, I don't know why it froze, but it did freeze, and so I wasn't able to finish this card with you when I intended to. So I really wanted to get it finished. And then the little flower bud. Now I don't want to stamp this one off because a newly opening flower generally is going to have darker coloring. And it's going to go off the card a tiny bit, I believe, because I kind of got my stem over there, but I don't think that's going to matter. And there you go. Now all I need to do to finish out my card, let me get it out here so we can see what we're doing. Because I was going to finish the whole card, but since I had those many flubs, I'm going to have to just cut it and put it on with another one now. I want to do my little sentiment on this. This is a Stitched Labels one that I've already got. I've cut out a whole bunch of these. And the Stitched Labels Thinlits and Framelits are in the general catalog. They're really cool. So it has a whole bunch. Oh, I forgot my leaf. I better get my little leaves in there before we do this label. Okay, so my leaf, the first leaf I'm going to leave as is, and then the second one I am going to twist this one around to get it to go that direction. Okay, so this one's good right there, but this other one I can just use the end. I think I'll do that. I'll just use the flipping it over end one, and then voila, there you go. And then I didn't even have to twist my little stem around, although I've done it, so it can be turned, and then you don't have to, but anyway, whatever. Okay, so we'll put that away. There's this With Sympathy sentiment right here. Oh, wait, that's Our Thoughts Are With You. Actually, I'm going to do the Our Thoughts Are With You because in doing this with you, I have practiced 2 times with the With Sympathy. So I'm going to do a different sentiment on this card so that I'm not doing the same one over and over again. And we're just using the mint macaron again. We'll stick that right in the middle. Well, that was not in the middle, but it's close enough. Our Thoughts Are With You, because I'm going to put a pink artisan share. What is this called? This is called the Share What You Love Artisan Pearls. I'm going to put a pink one there, and then I want to put this ribbon there. Let me get my ink pads away before I make a complete and total mess of it. And where's my ribbon? Ah, there it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a piece of ribbon down under the card. I'm going to put a dimensional on a couple of them on this label, and then I'm going to tie my bow and stick it on there. That's actually going to work out a lot easier than trying to get my bow to be exactly where I want it on the side, or here even. You know, this is kind of thick ribbon. If it was thinner ribbon, it would work, but this is thick, so let's just not do that. Here's a little paddle you can get with this fun pick tool. Again, in the general catalog, it's really good. So here's a couple of things you could buy right now. Get your $50
and get this stamp set. All you'd have to do is buy buy some ribbon, buy this, buy a pack of cardstock, and the pick tool, and that, I bet you that would probably, oh, and a block, one block, and that probably would get you up to the $50 mark pretty quick. And if not, I know you could find a whole bunch of other things that you liked as well in there to get there. And then you could get, actually this one I shouldn't have said that, because you could get the Rooster card that we're going to do. This card set, because it has so many sentiments, and probably because the flower is super, super cool, you're going to need to spend $100 worth of a product to get to the free lasting lily set. Now, because my sentiments likes little kilter there, I'm gonna put another little pink pearl here just to sort of balance out the fact that I screwed it up there. So we'll put one more right there. I don't know if I'm going to like that, but I'm gonna live with it anyway. And then let's just do a quick little snip of this ribbon. And we're gonna snip this one going, oops, that way. And this one, we're gonna wanna go the same direction, but not quite that long. There we go. And I think I can just do a little bit of fast fuse here to put that on. Okay. And then a dimensional, which is here on my messy desk somewhere. Ah, there it is. These little dimensionals come in these hexagon beak honeycomb style, and it actually is less wasteful than those other ones that you buy at the store, unless you're getting just the straight strip poster board stuff. This is going to be a more economical option for you. So I'm going to just put my, oops, kind of wanted it over it there, perfect. And then my ribbon that's left over I can tie into a bow. This is the tricky part. See if I can manage to get it into a nice bow. There we go, not bad. Let's move it a little bit so that its little legs are going the way I want them. And then we'll just do a little snip, snip. And a glue dot's gonna work better here than my fast fuse. I don't really trust my fast fuse too much for these tiny things because it's very sticky. Actually, it would stick really good. Actually better than this glue dot. But the thing about the glue dot is I can roll it and get it into exactly the size that I want it. And that plastic wouldn't come off my hand. Then I can stick that right there. There. And then what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to trim this up a little bit. I'm going to mount it on another card since I screwed that one up. Let's, you know, like it's going to be easy to mount. And since I'm going to have to go to the trouble of mounting it, probably I'm going to trim the edges a little bit, put it on like some, not flirty flamingo, probably petal pink, something a little lighter. And that actually is going to turn out even nicer than my original ones. But I did forget my little pearls up at the corner. That's the finishing touch. So let's get those on there. I'm going to throw my scraps away really quickly just to get rid of some of the trash I've got laying all over the place. And slide a couple more of these pink pearls on here. And then this card is done. And now because this one has taken longer than I expected it to, I am going to have to go super fast with that rooster. And that's not going to happen because he actually needs to be colored. And so I'm not sure that I probably can finish the rooster. I think I've got the papers that I've wanted embossed on that one are already embossed, so we won't at least have to do that. So let me put my pearl thing back in here. I like to keep these in here because sometimes those do come off of your paper, and then if they're inside the plastic, they won't get lost. And I heard my lid fall down here. Let's grab that. Okay, so that one is done. Let me put the stamp set away. Get that sentiment on there, and my little stems. And there, that one's all done. I'll put that one aside. Okay, let's put this over here before I get them all dirty. Okay, so now for the rooster card. This is cute. We don't need this pad anymore. Let's get rid of that craft pad. And I probably am not going to use these dimensionals either, but and I know I'm not using those pearls, but anyway. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is, again, this is Whisper White, and I do have some regular white cardstock that I oftentimes use for the backs of cards. You know, it's just the, well, like for instance, I can tell by looking at it, it's just plain old white cardstock you get anywhere. And it will work for the inside of your card if you're not stamping on it. It works anyway, even if you stamp on it, but I'm just telling you that the Whisper White is a nicer surface. It's smoother, it has a finish to it, so when you stamp, the images are very vivid. And it doesn't absorb ink. This tends to absorb ink so much that it can get smearing. So I'm going to stamp the rooster with Memento Black. Actually, let's do before. No, I need to. I'm going to stamp the rooster, and where's my, here he is. When I was experimenting how I was going to do this is a case, which is a copy and share everything thing Stampin' Up! Teaches us to be generous with each other, because people come up with these wonderful designs, and somebody did come up with a design very similar to this. And actually, I think in the catalog is the original one that's very similar to this. But when I saw it, I really wanted to make this more of a wheat feel. That's what these look like to me. And I think I'm going to do this with crushed curry. And that's the darker color. And then I'm going to use my blending pen to just fill that in a bit. But I need to get that rooster on the front, right? So I cut him out, I stamped him, cut him out, and then when we stamp, we're just gonna cover him up to stamp this wheat field. And then it'll appear that he's in front of it when he's actually not. But because of the way a stamp, you know, when it lays on there, because there's this thing, this slightly raised, I mean, this is just a piece of photo paper that was left over from when I printed out some photos. It's very, very thin. It's not a piece of paper. If I had done it on a piece of paper, it would be a little less thick, but it would be harder to manage too, because I'm going to save this in my box so that I don't have to fussy cut around this rooster again. This is a one-time thing, then I can use him over and over again. But because I've got that laid on there, when I put my stamp on here, the level is not gonna come right to the edge of the rooster. And I didn't want it to, because if it does, sometimes it interferes with the edge of your design, because it's hard to place this perfectly. So then you're going to just use your pen to kind of fill in just a tiny bit around and that's not a big deal, because this is a very random background. So all of that to say that we're going to do the rooster first, even though it looks like that might be a problem. So I'm just using this Whisper White, and we'll grab out this rooster, and the new stamps that are the rubber stamps stick really nice to my block. I am so happy with these. But do not leave them on your block for hours, because I understand from other people that when you do that, these permanently adhere. It's hard to get them off. You can probably get them off, but it might ruin your foam a little bit. And so just don't do it, okay? Just always clean and take off your stamp. The reason people leave them on is because they've got a class coming up and they want to get everything ready to go ahead of time, but you're not going to be able to do that with these stamps. At least you won't be able to put them on the blocks ahead of time. And the other thing is that with this rooster, he's got these skinny little legs. If you are just wrenching on it, trying to get it off, you might damage your stamp. So always use your finger and just kind of peel up the edge, and then it comes right off. But they are on there very nice and solid. So I don't have any of this falling off onto my card like I did with those other ones until my friend Kara said to put repositional glue on there. That was so beneficial to know. I'm going to turn this like this because even though I'm only going to oh, my surface underneath is bumpy. I think I've got I've got papers under here, so let's get rid of those because that does impact your stamping if it's bumpy. And let me put this here, and I'm going to put this up here so I can see it, so I know what I'm doing. And we'll try it again. So I'm going to make a bigger image, of course, than what's going to be shown here, but I think horizontal to begin with will be good. Okay, so I got a little tiny bit of a smudge there, but that's not going to matter. I mean, right there, I don't even know how that happened. It's probably just a tiny bit of ink. You probably can't even see it. There's just the tiniest little dot of black on the paper, but that's going to blend right into my background, so that doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm just going to peel that guy up and put him back in here. And then the next thing that we want to do before we stamp this background on here is I want to sponge on the sky. So I'm getting a balmy blue and just a common cosmetic sponge that I had. I think that's what this is. I bought a pack of them for, oh, who knows, a long time ago. And then I'm going to use the side I already practiced on so that I'm not doing any more. And I'm just going to just rub my ink on here, but I'm going to try to, maybe I want to come down because where you start is where it's darker, and I actually want to I want it to be darker at the top rather than at the bottom. I actually want the bottom to be lighter. So I think we'll start at the top, kind of run down. And we'll just keep doing this whole thing. And I'm going to go just a tiny bit faster here, but I'm not too worried about being too dark right there because this is going to be cut off most likely anyway. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to just use a little bit lighter touch and come in here a little lower. Ooh, now see what I did? Dang. I can fix that. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Because I'm not going to sponge all the way down here because I don't want to get rid of all of my white, and I'm not sure where those stalks are going to come up, and I'm going to show you a way. I can't really get rid of that, so let's try I think I might be able to get rid of it. Let's see. Doubt it, but we'll try my aqua pen and see if I can lighten this up. And I have another solution for it too, but the aqua pen might help. I'm just putting a little bit of water on there to try to get my ink to smear out a bit, but it's not really having a lot of effect on it. I didn't think it would, but I thought I'd give it a try. Let me grab my thing just to smooth it out a bit, dry it off actually, because I'm gonna just make this a bit darker right there. How's that? It's gonna be a darker sky at the top than I expected it to be. A very stormy day in Chicken Land. Okay. Okay, now with I'm going to use the blending pen to finish that out. But before I finish it out, I want to stamp on this crushed curry crushed curry wheat stock. And I'm going to need this little chicken mask. Okay, so I've got to grab some washi tape to stick on. Where is my washi tape? I've moved everything in here and there it is. Wasn't sure if I could find it quickly because I moved my supplies around during, I think a bunch of us during, there were a bunch of people. Hi Kara, how are you? I didn't see you until just now. I think there were a bunch of us that got into the cleaning mode during Christmas break because I saw a bunch of people had redone their storage of stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this chicken guy on here so that he's not gonna move around, but I don't want the washi tape to be way over the edge because then my image won't come out very well. Okay. Okay, so we're just using the wheat stock of Home to Roost with crushed curry, and I'm gonna start with one that's just that's a stamp off one just to see how it's going because it's pretty strong, and I stamped it off, so we're gonna do another stamped off one over here, and then I'm gonna keep, without re-stamping, I'm gonna try one and see if I like that, and that's okay. Let's do another one that's just a standard stamp off, and let's do one that's pretty strong right there and maybe right there, and one more kind of stamped off one. Okay, and then you can peel your chicken off and see how it worked. Isn't that nice? So I'm gonna just use my pen to kind of fill in around the edges, and we'll see how that works. Let me clean this little stock off first. Here, let me move that so I can, if you twist those on there, it actually cleans them a bit better. Get rid of my sponge. Okay. And today is another gray, super gray day, so I think that's why I've been gravitating to these very bright colors in my cards. I did for the Valentine's one, there's a guy theme because it's hard to find Valentine's cards, okay, for guys. So they tend to be in the more muted guy kind of colors, and I was excited about it at the time because when I was figuring out what I was going to do, because we were just coming off of the Christmas season and all the bright colors, reds and pinks and greens of Christmas, and now I'm not so excited about it because I'm a little tired of all these gray days. Now I do have, let's peek and see what I have. This is Light Mango Melody. These are the Stampin' Blends. They come in light and dark colors. And so this is the one that I'm going to use. It's the Mango Melody for kind of filling in a little bit, but I actually need the crushed curry one to do to fill in the color around as though he's in a wheat field. And then to help fill in my sky a bit, I'm gonna use a couple of pens. I've got to get my, I believe I am using my Pool Party. Let's see if that's what it is. Yes, Light Pool Party. Let's test it out here. Yes, I'm gonna use this Light Pool Party and the Light Seafoam. Okay, for that sky. But I need to grab a Stampin' Right marker that has the crushed curry. I think I've got crushed curry in here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so we need that too, because that's going to give us some of this detail here. And then also, I'm gonna use, let's test this and see if it is. That one's too dark. We're gonna use this, I think this is bronze, yes. We're gonna use bronze for some of the detail in the dirt, but I also am going to use my Copic E15 to color in the dirt, because Stampin' Up! I don't think has that shade. I don't know. Some people have some old blending pens that I don't have, because I didn't even really realize how awesome these blending pens were for so long. I'm gonna start with my dirt, because I wanna see how this is gonna blend in, because I noticed that I got some yellow here, which is not bad. I just didn't do that. I didn't get that in with my, I didn't get any yellow down here with my original one, so. Okay, so I just wanna put a layer of brown here. And then I'm gonna, this actually also does have a, oops, you know, it has two ends too, but I actually use that chisel tip a lot. It's kind of cool. Okay, so I could play there forever, but I won't. I'll spare you. And then we'll use the finer point on the bronze just to fill in around here a bit. Get some what looks like little chicken scratchings, maybe. I hope. That's the intention anyway. Like as a chicken would do, digging in the dirt. Okay. Actually, he's a rooster. I should stop calling him a chicken. And then he is actually a very stylized chicken. I don't think you're ever going to see a rooster that has this bright turquoise plumage. I know you won't, but I don't care, because I saw someone else had done that, and I thought, you know what? That's pretty good. I like that, and we're going to go with it. And I do need my dark Bermuda Bay for that. Maybe it's the light Bermuda Bay. Let's keep both of them out. And then I also will need some red and, oh boy, I might have used my bronze, but I think I used probably my, let's see what this is. This is soft suede. Probably used soft suede. I should have got my pins out ahead of time so that I knew what I was doing. And then, oh, here we go. I probably used that for around his face. And then we need, I need something more red. Now this, I believe, is the real red. Oh, that's Poppy Parade. Actually, Poppy Parade might work better, because I used real red here because my cardstock is real red. That's Cherry Copper. But my real red, actually, I wasn't as fond of it as I thought I would be. Let me get my, I took a piece of real red and ran it through my embossing folder with a subtle embossing folder, and it gives you this nice lined linen look that you might not be able to see all that well on camera. And then the base is, the one on my card is slightly different than this embossed one, but this is I think this is from the Lily Pad Lake set. Anyway, that's going to be our base underneath. And then I used our stitched rectangles framelets to do a rectangled frame, and it's going to be a bit smaller than the one. I didn't like that this one was, I actually like that it's fatter, but I wanted to show off my embossing folder paper a little bit better here. And this is an espresso, early espresso. So anyhow, trying to think if I really want to use the red or not. Let's just keep going and I'll figure that out as we go. So let's color in my sheaves of wheat. So this is your light mango melody. Okay, and I'm just going to color this in. Trying to do some stalks. If you do an extra stalk here and there, that's not going to matter. I do right around the rooster though. I can just color it all in because we're going to add in some we're going to add in some detail with our crushed curry Stampin' Right marker. As you get to the top of your wheat stems, to the top where the sheaves are separating, you don't want to, it's okay to do some extra there, but you don't want to lose all of your sky. Okay, so these blending pens, I don't even have to go out this far because I forgot. I'm going to have my frame right here. Oops, you know what I did? My frame is too big for this card. I'm going to have to do my frame this way. So I'm going to want to, this is going to be interesting because this card's going to now be going like this. That was really funny because I'm going to have to go all the way to the edge to make sure that I'm not out of it here. Good thing I did my wheat all the way over here. The things that happen when you're not really thinking about stuff. Because I don't think I'm going to like this design sideways like this. I like it this way because it's just, yeah, because partially because the sentiment's kind of long. So actually maybe it'll fit in better this way. I don't know, but I'm not happy with that happened like that. Okay. All right, now we will, I try to keep these together, that's why they're rubber banded together, but I did see on our website that there's a lipstick foam case you can get that these fit in. That'll be really nice once I get that, because I just need to remember to do so. Okay, so this crushed curry is a great way for me to just add in right to the edge of my rooster some of these wheat stalks that sort of got smudged out when I was running that blending pen through there. Because I don't want to lose all of that detail. So I'm just putting it back in. But I don't need to do a lot. And then down at the bottom, I do want to get a little bit more done there too. And I see I missed a spot, so let's grab that. And then getting that bronze back in with the pointy end, we're gonna put some stubble at the bottom of those wheat stalks. And if that's not dark enough, because I don't know that it is necessarily, I can get my darker pen and do the same thing. And then with my light Bermuda Bay, we're just going to color in this is the light? It is. Wow, it's pretty dark. Maybe I want to, no, I know I use this, so I guess it's fine. So I'm going to just go ahead and do it, and then I'll try to darken up where I think there should be some shadows by just coloring a little bit more. Okay. Well, I should probably be a little careful around here. I don't want it to go into the bottom of his plumes. Okay. And then you've got your, I believe we're going to use, I think this is crumb cake. Let's do light crumb cake and see how that is. That's too light. So we'll try dark crumb cake. Oh, I didn't get all of his feathers. Okay. Get all of those feathers. And try the light. Oops, I keep getting the wrong end. This is the dark crumb cake. Oh, good, that's better. Now it's a little dark, so there. And then I can just kind of come up on that feather a little bit where it's overlapping, and it makes your rooster feathers look a little less false with this bright Bermuda Bay color. It's a little unbelievable. So you might want to do that just to try to make it look a little less ridiculous, actually. But my rooster leg didn't quite get all the way, so I'll grab that. And maybe even just a little bit darker right here where his belly is. Because you want it to be a little darker where the shadow is, but let me grab this and blend that in a little bit. Okay. Okay, now we're ready for this. And I don't think I used Poppy Parade, so I don't think I'm gonna like it, but yeah, it's pretty bright. It's actually looking very similar. I think I used something else, but there's so little of it going here that this is fine. And it's nice to have something jumping out color-wise. These are fairly muted colors other than his plumage. And then I want the lighter crumb cake for around his eye because I want to make sure his eye's showing well. There you go. Now for the sky, I'm just going to use a little bit of this pool party. Not the dark pool party, but the light pool party, which is what I had in my hand. And I'm going to just go in between my stalks very lightly to try to make where we sponge to make that blend in a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm gonna, because I'm gonna have to use this hole. I didn't think I was gonna use these sides, but I'm gonna have to. So I am going to kind of do a little cloud effect here with this pool party. Try to blend my flub where I got it darker there, for one thing. There, that's better. And then we'll just color around all these little stalks, not touching my stalk. If there's a little bit of white around your stalk, that's fine. Better to have a little bit of white than to have lost all of that beautiful golden color of your wheat field. And then I'm gonna use my light sea foam just to try to match that up, because the balmy blue is pretty close when you get, you know, everything all blended in here. But balmy blue is not quite as green as it's the other way around. My pool parties is about as green as I want it, but I actually want it to be a little bit greener, just to show that it's kind of lighting up it's a little lighter. Okay, I think that's good. And I must have used a darker color there. I'm not liking that. So let's try to match that up. I will get out, what is this? This is chocolate chip. Oh, that's a color we don't even use anymore, I don't think. Is chocolate chip even out there? I don't know. This is kind of a dark one, but oh, that one's way too dark. Rats. Let's see. What else have I got in here? I've got all kinds of things. Let's try soft suede. That sounds more realistic. What I would have probably used. Okay, there we go. That's better. I just need a little bit more depth on some of these. So it's just, you know, it's all, because this is gonna, more of this is gonna show than I expected because of the way my card is. And I need a little bit of yellow right here, right there. Missed that spot somehow. Don't know how I did. Okay. All right, that's what takes time, is the coloring, but I actually like coloring. I'm sorry if you don't, because you would have been really bored, but you survived. And then we're gonna trim it. We're gonna stick this guy on here. I actually have dimensionals underneath this onto the red. So, do I? No, I think I stuck him right on there. The dimensionals are on the frame because I wanted the frame to pop up. So first of all, because my frame is gonna be really snug right here, I want to make sure that I don't trim more of this off than I intend to, because I'm going to be kind of close. Looks like I need to go right on out there, and oh, I need my sentiment to be in here, so that's going to have to go right there. Good thing it's a one-line sentiment. Yeah, I'm not at all happy with how this is turning out. This is going to be a much nicer card here. That's okay. Hi, Melissa. How are you doing? I hope you're doing better than I am, because I totally screwed up this card. And by the time I realized I had, I couldn't. There was no stopping, no going back. I couldn't do anything about it. Good. So what, do you guys have snow where are you? I kind of forget where you are. Okay, now we're gonna just need to cut really close here. I don't wanna, because I can always color a little more yellow if I need to. Arkansas, okay, so you don't have any snow. William and Abelin live in Boise, and they do have snow. And we do not. It's been a really super mild winter here. It's been nice. Does your dad still live around here? Okay, so I think, woohoo, oh good, my frame's fine. So I'm gonna just color a tiny bit more yellow. This is Mango Melody again. We're gonna just put a little more, oops, that was the wrong one. That was not Mango Melody, or it was the dark one probably. No, that's not it either. It must have been this one, because it's the only other one I have out. Oh, okay. So I just wondered, if you had family here still, because I don't know if our kids really miss the weather in the Tri-Cities. They might. The Tri-Cities weather is pretty good compared to a lot of places in the country. There might be other things about it you don't like, but the weather's pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna just put some rubber cement on the back of this guy and fasten him to this real red piece of cardstock that I ran through the subtle embossing folder. And we'll find the side that I want that's the best, because oop, I forgot. I need it to be in the middle because I want my frame to show there. So we'll just stick him in the middle. Oh boy. This is another reason why I like rubber cement, is it just rubs off and it's not going to show on my card because I did that. Okay. And then my frame I want to pop up. Now, but I better do the sentiment before I do the frame though, because the sentiment is actually embossed. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a copper embossing. It says enjoy the simple moments. Not sure if you can see that, but that's what it says. So with my little embossing buddy, you can get this embossing buddy in Stampin' Up's catalog for, I don't know, $5, $6, $7, but it's $9, I think, down at Michael's. So well, I shouldn't say that because I don't even know. Any whatever craft store I saw it at. So you want to get it through Stampin' Up. It's I don't know what it has in it, but you just rub it across your paper where you're going to do your embossing, and then that way your embossing powder is going to just stick to the ink that you put on there. We're going to use Versamark, and grabbing out my Enjoy the Simple Moments stamp. That way the ink will just stick to that instead of to the rest of the paper, because sometimes when you're stamping something that you want to emboss, it will cling to other stuff. Oh, good. I'm glad you like this card. I really liked it because it was just so colorful. But I do think that people who actually grow roosters, who, you know, are growing eggs, doing chickens, I think the people who have roosters, they might not think it's as cool because it probably doesn't look anything like any rooster ever looked. But it's pretty. Okay, so we're going to put that right there. And then because this needs to be moist, I'm going to move pretty fast to get all this embossing powder on. And I just put it on pretty liberally because I'm going to scoot it off onto a piece of paper anyway. And then put that extra back in the, I'm going to flip that off. Okay, and then I can put this extra right back into the... Embossing looks really fancy and it's pretty cool, but it's one of the least expensive ways to add bling to your cards. Because look at that. You use a minimum amount of powder. It's just very little. And the Versamark is, I don't know how much it is in our catalog, but you can get it in any craft store anyway, and they probably cost about the same. I would prefer that you bought it through me, of course, in my stamp store, but if you just get it when you forget, and then you can at least pick that up any craft place you want to. So let's put that away. I do like this thanks for your friendship, and even just the note. I like that. I think just a note's gonna look really good with this rooster, but we're gonna stick with the enjoy the simple moments here. And I see there's a little bit of powder on the where it got on my the folders. This is this subtle textured paper kind of grabbed on to some of it, but I don't see any of it around my image. I think that came off really nicely, but you do want to get off any extra because when you use the heat gun, it's going to heat it and it'll be permanent wherever you got it. So I'm going to grab this heat gun. It's going to be a little noisy. Sorry about that. There's really nothing I can do about that. So here we go. Oops, there we go. This is going to take a few minutes. Well, actually, it's going to take about 1 minute. It's a pretty small sentiment. And I'm going to speed it up here by not doing it so much at an angle. I was thinking it would be nice for you to see the change, but when it starts to change, it's really cool to watch. When it starts to melt and go from its matte color, there you go. You see how it changes into its beautiful coppery golden, whatever. If you've got silver or gold or tinsel or even other colors, oh boy, I love it when it melts because it looks so cool. That's always fun. I don't know why, but it is always fun. And then we're going to put the little frame on now that we've got that done. You know what? I'm liking it better than I thought, but I still prefer this. And we'll see when we get everything all finished if I still prefer that. But right now, I am. And then I'm going to just grab out instead of using my dimensionals, I am going to grab out, and I do have some foam tape, but I don't want that foam. It's fat, and I'm going to just grab out some poster. You can get this in a giant roll in your paint department. Go look for it in a paint department. It's probably the least expensive place. And then I can just trim. I keep a pair of scissors just for trimming this stuff because your scissors will get all gummy, and you don't want to have gummy scissors. Oops, did I get it on the edge? Maybe a little bit, but then I can do fairly skinny strips. Now with our do I have it here? I don't. But the foam strips that we have in the catalog are quite long. They're about this long, and then you just do one strip. And I could have cut it that long, but I don't need to, because I don't need this to be, you know, nobody's going to be tugging on this frame as far as I know. It's going to be fine. You don't need to get it too. If I was doing a shaker card, you would want it to be seamless. So that's where it would be more important to use that. Use a whole sheet. Okay, that's going to be good enough. I'll save my extra little piece there. And I'm kind of figuring out how big I want this edge to be. So that's one reason I haven't trimmed my red yet. I'm thinking about it. I think I'm not going to push this frame down yet, because I want to see where it is. I should have left my things on. I do need to trim around it, but I think that's going to work out fine. Let's trim it really quick before I lay on that frame, because the problem is, since I have it raised, it won't go underneath my platform all that easily. So let's trim it, a little bit of it away. I didn't place it on here exactly square, so I'm a little hesitant to just line it up with the edge of the card, because my rooster is a little askew, I think. Although that actually might not matter anyway. Okay. If I need to trim it more, I can. In fact, let's trim off that little, my trimmer blade's getting just a tiny bit dull, so it does that. Okay, so now we can put the frame on here. Oops. It's got to be kind of exact, or just because I kind of screwed up the whole design, so because I did that, it's got to, I don't have a lot of wiggle room here. I've got to get it on here pretty perfectly. And normally you would just plop that on and it wouldn't be, this should not take any time at all. It's did take a little time, just an effort, just because I sort of messed it up. Oh, I can see it down here. Oh, well, I'm going to have to be happy with that. And now, since you can see it's just a little bit off, I'm going to need to trim it there. But I'll probably have to anyway to be able to see any of the this edge. And it looks like I'm going to want to trim a lot of it away. So this I'm going to have to do by hand, because my my cutting board, I can show you what it will do. Because this frame has a raised edge, it's not going to fit under here. And I guess I could use my other cutting board. See, it's not going to do it. I guess I could turn it this way, maybe, but then I can't really see what I'm doing. And I do have another cutting board that I could probably use, but I'm a little scared what it'll do. Sometimes it doesn't do what I want it to do, but actually it looks like it's working pretty well. There. Okay. This one, the blade, I think is off, and so, yeah, I'm looking like I've got some uneven cuts. Okay. I'm just trying to even that up a bit. I think it's also because I got my frame on there crookedly. But we're gonna, oops, sorry about that. We're gonna do it kind of caterwonky, whatever you want to call it anyway. So, oh, he's cute though. I do like it. I still do like this one much better. Okay, so I am going to just rubber cement that on to the embossed again, I think this is the lily pad lake one, or water. I think it's the waterfront one. I forget. I should have gotten it out to see what that embossing for. I emboss things, a bunch of them, when I get them. We're gonna put this on kind of sideways just to hide the fact that I did not cut my lines very well. And if they're crooked anyway, it's a little less obvious that they are. And then I'm gonna need to put this on a large, this is gonna have to go on a pretty good sized card. I think I'll trim off my edge because, as you can see, the embossing folder didn't go quite to the edge of this card. So I'll wanna trim that. Oop, I didn't mean to get this up. Oh, I forgot, because that's a that rubber cement won't hold very well because there's this embossed, is, you know, I mean, it does, but it's got to sit for a minute before I can move it around too much. Okay. Now that might not have been enough. Let's take off a little bit more. There we go. And this side. Okay, now we're ready to put it. So before I trim that, I'm gonna just put this on here because this, I don't even know how big this card is going to be, but it's gonna be pretty good size. And, okay. Now, another reason, that rubber cement is fine as long as you don't have sparkles and buttons, things that have adhesive on the back. That adhesive, once it is in contact with the alcohol or whatever it is that it has, turpentine, whatever it is that is in this rubber cement, when it interacts with it, it'll fall right off your card. But the foam that I have on that frame is got a layer of card between it and this Bermuda Bay color, so we're safe. But if I had put my frame right on-to the Bermuda Bay part that I'm going, I would not use that rubber cement. I would have used tape or something else. But it's kind of nice to use when I want to adjust the card to make sure it's, I need to be able to wiggle it around and not just place it perfect exactly where it needs to be. Okay, so last thing of all, make sure that you are taking advantage of all the celebration stuff that's going on right now. There's tons of stuff, so checking back. Message me for a catalog, or for, I'm going to do a score right here so that I can fold my card. Ooh, it's kind of fat. It's not really scoring, so I'm going to just use my scissors to... I have got a tool I could grab, but this is gonna work too. And then I can fold it right where I want it, and then I can cut it where I want it. Message me to get any information about classes, sign up for my newsletter. The newsletter has all kinds of information that you'll want to have about what's going on at the Crow Cottage and in the Stampin' Up! World in general. And there is the card. Cute, huh? And then we could stamp inside some nice little sheafs of wheat just to finish off the interior of it. I really like this crushed curry with other colors. It's not necessarily all that great on its own, but with other stuff, it's really magnificent. So we're gonna do one without a stamp off, and with a couple of them with, there we go, like that, okay? And I think that's gonna be it. I don't think I wanna put anything else in there. And that way I can use it for any kind of a card. I'm not sure what I'll be using it for yet.
All right, I'm gonna swing it up so I can say goodbye to you. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week. Next week it'll be a holiday on Monday, so Jeff will be home. I don't know if I'll have time to get in here. It might have to be Tuesday. And if I do get to it on Monday, great. If not, I will see you on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend. Nice long weekend. Take a break. Bye.